Spanning thousands of kilometers, the African savanna stretches endlessly beneath a sky ablaze with the first light of dawn. The land is a living canvas, painted in hues of ochre and emerald, where the interplay of sunlight and shadow reveals the subtle contours of ancient earth. As the sun rises, the savanna awakens, a vast, open theatre, where the primal forces of nature are on full display, and every day brings a new chapter in the saga of survival. The landscape is a patchwork of golden grasses interspersed with resilient acacia trees, whose umbrella-shaped crowns provide fleeting islands of shade. Each blade of grass is a survivor, enduring months of relentless drought, only to surge skyward in a burst of green when the rains finally return. The acacias, with their deep roots and thorny branches, stand as sentinels sculpted by the wind and the browsing of countless herbivores. The air vibrates with the ceaseless activity of insects, ants carving intricate tunnels beneath the soil, beetles recycling nutrients, and dragonflies darting above ephemeral pools. In the distance, the deep, resonant rumble of an elephant travels across the plains, mingling with the chorus of birds and the subtle rustle of grass. Every sound is a coded message, every movement a calculated response in the complex language of survival. The rhythm of the savanna is dictated by the eternal cycle of wet and dry. With the arrival of the rains, the parched earth is reborn, rivers swell, dormant seeds erupt into life, and a profusion of creatures emerges from hiding. Termite mounds, towering like miniature fortresses, become hubs of activity, their architects tirelessly repairing and expanding their clay citadels. As the land dries, only the most adaptable endure. Lions lounge in the scant shade, conserving energy, while frogs burrow deep to escape the searing heat. The savanna is a living, breathing entity, its character shaped by the creatures that inhabit it. Elephants, with their immense strength, reshape the landscape by toppling trees and digging for water, while giraffes delicately browse the uppermost leaves, pruning the canopy. Buffalo churn the mud in wallows, creating micro-habitats for amphibians and insects, and warthogs kneel to crop the shortest grasses, each action leaving an indelible mark on the ecosystem. Movement is the heartbeat of the savanna. Wildebeest surge forward in vast, coordinated herds, their hooves raising clouds of dust that drift across the plains. Zebras weave through the grass in tight-knit groups, while gazelles leap in graceful arcs, their vigilance a constant defense against lurking predators. Eland and hartebeest gather at shrinking waterholes, their presence a magnet for both allies and adversaries. Each year, the Great Migration unfolds, a breathtaking odyssey of endurance and instinct. Over 1 million wildebeest, joined by zebras and gazelles, traverse nearly 800 kilometers in search of fresh grazing and vital water. The journey is a test of stamina and unity, as the herds move in unison, driven by ancient rhythms, encoded in their very bones. The migration is fraught with peril. Swollen rivers become gauntlets, where crocodiles lie in silent ambush beneath the surface. Wildebeest and zebras plunge into the churning water, driven by the urgency of survival, while vultures circle above, ever watchful for the weak or the fallen. Yet the herds press on, their collective strength a shield against the dangers that stalk the journey. As they move, the herds sculpt the land itself. Hooves churn the soil, breaking up the hardened crust and allowing rain to penetrate, while their grazing keeps the grasses in check, preventing the encroachment of woody plants. In their wake, new shoots emerge, and opportunistic birds forage in the freshly disturbed earth, seizing insects and seeds exposed by the passage of thousands. For the newborn calves, life begins with urgency and vulnerability. Within moments of birth, mothers nudge their young to their feet, their instincts honed by generations of survival. Calves must rise and run almost immediately, their trembling legs quickly gaining strength as they join the moving herd, every sense alert to the ever-present threat of predators. This remarkable adaptation, standing within 7 minutes, running within 15, ensures that even the youngest are not left behind. Mothers remain vigilant, guiding their calves through the shifting mass of bodies, while predators prowl at the edges, ever watchful for a moment's weakness. The relentless pressure of open country has shaped these animals into paragons of resilience. The savanna's ecosystem is a masterpiece of complexity and resilience. Every species, from the tiniest insect to the largest mammal, is a vital thread in a vast interconnected web. Herds of antelope graze alongside elephants, birds dart between species, and even the slow-moving tortoise plays its part, dispersing seeds and maintaining the delicate balance of life. Each animal has evolved to exploit a unique niche. Secretary birds stride purposefully through the grass, dispatching snakes with lethal accuracy. Hyenas, masters of adaptation, scavenge and hunt as dusk falls, their eerie calls a reminder of the night's approach. As darkness descends, bats emerge from hollow trees, weaving through the air in pursuit of insects, their presence felt but rarely seen. The giraffe, with its towering neck and dexterous tongue, is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. It delicately plucks the most succulent leaves from the uppermost branches of acacia trees, skillfully navigating a maze of thorns that deter all but the most specialized feeders. Even young giraffes quickly learn to reach for the choicest shoots, their growth fueled by this exclusive diet. Meanwhile, the warthog is a master of the underground harvest. With powerful snouts and curved tusks, warthogs root through the hardened earth, unearthing hidden tubers and roots that sustain them through the harshest months. Their foraging aerates the soil, creating opportunities for new plants to take root and thrive. Survival in the savanna demands specialization. The cheetah, a living embodiment of speed and grace, relies on explosive acceleration to overtake the swiftest prey. Mothers teach their cubs the art of the hunt, every muscle honed for the chase. In contrast, the rhinoceros moves with deliberate power, its thick hide and formidable horn a deterrent to all but the boldest challengers. Oxpeckers ride atop its back, plucking parasites and keeping watch for danger. Yet the savanna is not solely a battleground of competition. It is also a realm of alliances, where animals of different species form partnerships that enhance their chances of survival. Impalas and wildebeest graze side by side, responding instantly to each other's alarms, while egrets follow in the wake of buffalo, feasting on insects disturbed by their passage. Zebras, with their acute sense of smell and hearing, often graze alongside ostriches whose exceptional eyesight can detect threats from afar. Together they form a living early warning system, each compensating for the other's limitations. The slightest sign of danger sends both species into coordinated flight, their partnership a testament to the power of cooperation. The oxpecker bird forges a unique alliance with the giants of the savanna. Perched atop buffalo and rhinos, it plucks parasites from their hides, its sharp eyes and shrill calls providing an early warning of approaching predators. In exchange for a meal, the oxpecker offers vigilance, its presence a small but vital safeguard in a world of constant threat. These relationships form a complex web of interdependence, where the fortunes of one species are often tied to the fate of another. Baboons groom each other, strengthening social bonds that ensure group cohesion. Weaver birds build. Across the vast, sun-drenched plains of the African savanna, a complex interplay of predator and prey unfolds with every passing moment. Here, the presence of apex predators is woven into the very landscape, dictating the rhythms of life and death. Every movement in the grass, every fleeting shadow signals the constant vigilance required for survival in this ecosystem. At the summit of this hierarchy are the lions, majestic, powerful, and highly social. Their dominance is not merely a product of brute force, but of sophisticated group dynamics and territorial strategies that influence the distribution and behavior of other species. The male lion, distinguished by his imposing mane, serves as both sentinel and defender. His presence alone is often enough to deter intruders, while his resonant roar, carrying for miles, marks territory and signals strength to rivals. The pride itself is a tightly knit social unit where cooperation and defined roles are essential. Through grooming, play, and coordinated vigilance, lions reinforce bonds that are critical for both hunting and defense. Lionesses, the pride's primary hunters, exemplify teamwork. Their hunts are meticulously coordinated, with each lioness assuming a specific position to maximize the chances of a successful ambush. As twilight descends, lionesses utilize the cover of tall grass, moving with calculated precision. Silent communication, through subtle gestures and tail movements, enables them to encircle prey, launching a synchronized attack at the opportune moment. The pride's collective roar at dawn and dusk is a powerful auditory signal, reinforcing territorial boundaries and strengthening group cohesion. Yet, the savanna's predator dynamics extend far beyond lions. Each carnivore species has evolved distinct adaptations, allowing them to exploit different ecological niches and minimize direct competition. The leopard, solitary and elusive, is a master of stealth. Its solitary nature reduces conflict with other large predators, while its ability to move silently through dense vegetation makes it a formidable ambush hunter. The leopard's dappled coat provides exceptional camouflage, blending seamlessly with the interplay of light and shadow. This adaptation allows it to remain undetected by both prey and potential competitors. After a successful hunt, the leopard's strength is evident as it hoists its kill into the safety of tree branches. This behavior not only secures its meal from scavengers, but also highlights the leopard's unique role as both predator and arboreal specialist. In contrast, the cheetah is built for speed and agility. Its lightweight frame and elongated limbs are the result of evolutionary pressures favoring rapid acceleration and maneuverability in open terrain. When a target is identified, the cheetah initiates a high-speed chase, reaching velocities unmatched by any other land animal. The pursuit is brief but intense, with success hinging on split-second timing and precision. The spotted hyena, often misunderstood, is a model of endurance and social complexity. Operating in large clans, hyenas combine cooperative hunting with opportunistic scavenging, adapting their tactics to the situation at hand. Hyenas employ relentless pursuit, using their remarkable stamina to wear down prey over long distances. Their hunting success is amplified by coordinated group strategies and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Within the clan, a strict matriarchal hierarchy governs social interactions. Dominant females lead, ensuring order and cooperation during hunts and at feeding sites. Hyenas communicate through a sophisticated array of vocalizations, whoops, giggles, and groans, enabling them to coordinate movements, summon reinforcements, and even challenge larger predators for access to food. Their powerful jaws are capable of crushing bone, allowing hyenas to access nutrients unavailable to most other carnivores. This efficiency makes them essential recyclers, ensuring that little is wasted in the ecosystem. African wild dogs, among the most efficient hunters, rely on tightly coordinated pack behavior. Each individual contributes to the group's success, with roles shifting fluidly as circumstances demand. Led by an alpha pair, the pack traverses vast territories, maintaining cohesion through subtle body language and high-pitched calls. This unity is critical for both hunting and protection. During hunts, wild dogs employ relentless pursuit and strategic teamwork, isolating and exhausting prey with remarkable efficiency. Their success rate is among the highest of any savanna predator. Social bonds within the pack are reinforced through mutual care. After a hunt, food is distributed to all members, ensuring the well-being of pups, injured, and elderly individuals. Adults regurgitate meat for the young, guaranteeing that even the most vulnerable are nourished and able to thrive. Those unable to participate in hunts are not left behind. Food is brought back to the den, exemplifying the wild dog's exceptional social structure and cooperative nature. The The intricate dynamics among the savanna's predators, each with specialized adaptations, social systems, and hunting strategies, maintain the delicate equilibrium of this ecosystem. Their interactions, both competitive and cooperative, are fundamental to the resilience and diversity of life on the savanna. Spanning the vast, sunlit grasslands of the African savanna, survival is a collective endeavor. Herbivores here have evolved to depend on the formidable advantages of group living, forging intricate alliances that transform vulnerability into resilience. Herds assemble in dense formations, each animal's acute senses contributing to a shared vigilance. This synchronized awareness forms a living barrier where unity amplifies both defense and detection. Zebras, distinguished by their bold black and white stripes, exemplify the power of collective defense. Individually, their patterns are striking and unmistakable. Yet, as zebras move in unison, their stripes blend into a dynamic, shifting illusion. This visual phenomenon confounds predators, making it exceptionally difficult to single out an individual from the moving herd. This effect, termed collective confusion, is a sophisticated survival strategy, leveraging coordinated movement and visual disruption to reduce predation risk. Vigilance within the herd is relentless. Zebras frequently raise their heads in synchrony, scanning the horizon for threats, their senses finely attuned to the subtlest disturbances. Their large, independently rotating ears capture distant sounds, transmitting silent alerts through nuanced body language, ensuring rapid communication of potential danger. In this role, zebras serve as sentinels for the ecosystem, their collective alertness providing early warning not only for themselves but for other species sharing the plains. The African buffalo, among the savanna's most robust herbivores, is renowned for its formidable strength and unpredictable nature. Buffalo herds traverse the landscape with measured confidence. Each adult remains vigilant, prepared to defend the group with decisive force. When threatened, the herd forms a defensive phalanx. Adults encircle the calves, presenting an impenetrable wall of muscle and horn to deter predators. Each buffalo faces outward, horns displayed, their posture a clear deterrent, signaling that any aggression will be met with unified resistance. Buffalo herds exhibit complex decision-making. When selecting new grazing areas, individuals indicate preferences by orienting their bodies, and the group ultimately follows the majority's direction. Their intelligence is complemented by exceptional memory. Buffalo can recall previous threats and recognize individual predators, adapting their defensive tactics accordingly. In rare but remarkable instances, buffalo herds will collectively confront and drive away predators, demonstrating advanced cooperation and protective behavior. The rhinoceros, typically solitary, represents a different survival strategy, one defined by physical resilience and evolutionary adaptation. Its dense, armor-like skin and formidable horn serve as natural deterrents, discouraging even the most determined predators. Despite limited vision, the rhino's acute sense of smell and highly sensitive hearing enable early detection of approaching threats. Maternal rhinos display unwavering protection. A mother keeps her calf close, prepared to charge with remarkable speed at the slightest hint of danger. This combination of maternal vigilance and physical power is crucial for the survival of the next generation in a landscape fraught with peril. Solitary yet resolute, the rhino traverses its territory with deliberate grace, embodying the endurance of ancient lineage. Smaller antelope, such as impala and gazelle, depend on the herd's structure for survival. Sentinels remain vigilant while others graze, ensuring rapid detection and response to threats. Warthogs, though diminutive, are exceptionally agile and resourceful. At the first sign of danger, they sprint for their burrows, reaching impressive speeds. When escape is not possible, their sharp, upward-curving tusks become effective defensive tools, capable of deterring even formidable predators. Ingeniously, warthogs reverse into their burrows, positioning their tusks at the entrance, ready to defend against any intruder. With the arrival of dawn, herds commence their daily routines, grazing, migrating, and maintaining vigilance, each day presenting new challenges and opportunities for survival. Over countless generations, these herbivores have refined their survival strategies, integrating speed, strength, and social intelligence to navigate the ever-present dangers of the savanna. The true strength of these animals lies in their complex social bonds, constant vigilance, and seamless cooperation, a living demonstration of the enduring power of the herd in the wild. Beneath the visible spectacle of predator and prey, the savanna's true structure is engineered by a complex network of unseen ecological architects, organisms and natural forces whose roles are intricate, indispensable, and often overlooked. As night descends, hippopotamuses emerge from the rivers, their massive bodies forging deep, meandering trails through the grasslands. These nightly migrations not only create vital corridors for smaller animals, but also facilitate seed dispersal and soil aeration, subtly shaping the landscape's structure and biodiversity. Despite their placid appearance, hippos are formidable defenders of their aquatic territories. Their aggressive displays and powerful jaws regulate access to water, influencing the distribution and behavior of countless other species that depend on these habitats. The ecological impact of hippos extends further. Their nutrient-rich dung, deposited in rivers, sustains entire aquatic food webs. As it decomposes, it fuels blooms of algae and feeds invertebrates, which in turn support fish populations, linking terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems in a continuous cycle of renewal. By maintaining open channels and fertilizing riverbanks, hippos act as ecosystem engineers, promoting the growth of riparian vegetation and providing critical habitats for birds, amphibians, and insects. Alongside them, Nile crocodiles, living relics of prehistory, serve as apex aquatic regulators. Their presence controls populations of fish and mammals, preventing overgrazing and maintaining the delicate equilibrium of riverine ecosystems. Crocodiles, through selective predation and scavenging, remove diseased and weakened animals from the population. This natural culling limits the spread of pathogens and recycles nutrients, ensuring the health and resilience of the entire aquatic community. Their formidable hunting techniques, powerful jaws, and the infamous death roll are not merely displays of strength, but essential mechanisms for population control and nutrient redistribution within the ecosystem. Through their silent patrols, crocodiles maintain the ecological integrity of rivers, ensuring that aquatic life persists in a state of dynamic balance. As keystone species, crocodiles' regulatory influence is vital for sustaining the diversity and productivity of these waterways. On the open plains, the caracal exemplifies evolutionary specialization. Its extraordinary leaping ability and acute senses allow it to exploit aerial prey, maintaining avian population dynamics and contributing to the balance between predator and prey. The klipspringer, with its unique hoof structure and remarkable agility, occupies rocky niches inaccessible to most herbivores. By grazing on sparse vegetation, it prevents overgrowth and supports plant diversity on these isolated outcrops. The savanna is a mosaic of ecological specialists. Each species, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, fulfills a distinct role, contributing to the system's overall stability and resilience. Interactions among these organisms, competition, symbiosis, predation, form a complex web of dependencies where the loss or decline of one species can trigger cascading effects throughout the ecosystem. The annual migration of wildebeest is a driving force of ecological renewal. Their movement aerates the soil, disperses seeds and fertilizes the grasslands, while their sheer numbers sustain predators and scavengers alike, synchronizing the rhythms of life across the plains. Elephants, as ecosystem engineers, reshape the landscape by uprooting trees, creating waterholes and forging new pathways. These modifications increase habitat heterogeneity, support biodiversity, and provide critical resources during periods of scarcity. Termites, the savanna's master builders, construct towering mounds that regulate soil temperature and moisture. Their relentless decomposition of plant material recycles nutrients, enhances soil fertility, and supports the growth of grasses and trees, underpinning the productivity of the entire ecosystem. Insects, though often invisible, are the savanna's primary recyclers and pollinators. Dung beetles accelerate nutrient cycling. Pollinators maintain genetic diversity among plants, and ants cultivate subterranean fungus gardens, all contributing to ecosystem resilience and productivity. Acacia trees, with their deep roots and mutualistic relationships with ants, stabilize soils, enrich the nutrient base, and provide shelter and sustenance for a multitude of species. Abiotic forces, wind, rain, and sunlight, drive seasonal cycles, influencing plant growth, animal migrations, and the timing of reproduction. Yet, this intricate world faces mounting challenges. Climate change intensifies droughts and alters rainfall patterns, threatening water availability and shifting the boundaries of habitats. Wildfires, both natural and human-induced, can devastate plant and animal communities, while invasive species disrupt established ecological relationships. The survival of iconic species, lion, elephant, rhino, depends on the continued function of these ecological architects. The loss of any keystone species can unravel the fabric of the savanna, leading to declines in biodiversity and ecosystem collapse. To preserve the thunder of hooves and the roar of the lion, we must recognize and safeguard the silent labor of insects, the engineering of termites, the wisdom of ancient trees, and the cycles of wind and rain that sustain this land. The savanna is a living masterpiece, its future threatened by habitat loss, climate instability, and the erosion of ecological roles. Only through informed stewardship and a commitment to protecting every unseen architect can we ensure that this wild symphony endures, resilient, vibrant, and whole, for generations yet to come. Gap 2s. As the first rays of sunlight pierce the horizon, the African savanna awakens to a subtle, yet vital, transformation. The landscape, bathed in shifting light and morning mist, becomes a stage for nature's most efficient recyclers. Here, the end of one life is the catalyst for countless others, as energy and nutrients are meticulously redistributed. Scavengers, each adapted for a specific role, converge with precision and purpose. The remains of a zebra, lion, or antelope become a focal point for a complex ecological process. Hyenas are often the first to arrive, drawn by acute senses of smell and hearing. Their jaws, among the strongest in the animal kingdom, effortlessly crush bones, extracting marrow rich in calcium and fat, nutrients inaccessible to most other species. The distinctive vocalizations of hyenas serve as both communication and a signal, alerting other scavengers to the opportunity. Vultures, equipped with extraordinary eyesight, detect the scene from kilometers away and descend in coordinated flocks. White-backed vultures specialize in stripping muscle and connective tissue, their hooked beaks designed for precision. Lappet-faced vultures, with robust beaks and powerful neck muscles, tear through the toughest hides, granting access to deeper tissues. Jackals and marabou storks exploit the leftovers, their varied diets allowing them to consume tendons, skin, and even bone fragments. Once the larger scavengers have departed, only the most resilient scraps remain, setting the stage for the next wave of recyclers. As darkness falls, nocturnal insects emerge in vast numbers, guided by chemical cues to the remnants. Dung beetles, masters of nutrient cycling, sculpt and transport dung balls, burying them to aerate the soil and fertilize future plant growth. Their relentless digging improves soil structure, enhancing water retention and root penetration for new vegetation. Flesh flies and carrion beetles lay eggs in the decaying tissue, their larvae equipped with enzymes that rapidly break down proteins and fats. These larvae accelerate decomposition, fragmenting organic matter into forms accessible to even smaller organisms, Ants swarm over exposed bones, meticulously cleaning every crevice, while below ground, microscopic decomposers begin their work. Fungi, invisible to the naked eye, extend networks of hyphae through decaying matter, secreting enzymes that dissolve complex molecules. This biochemical process transforms flesh and bone into humus, enriching the soil with organic carbon. Bacteria, numbering in the billions per gram of soil, complete the cycle by breaking down the most resistant compounds, such as keratin and collagen. Their metabolic activity releases nitrogen, phosphorus, and other essential minerals, making them available for plant uptake. The resulting soil is a dynamic living system, teeming with nutrients and microorganisms, ready to support the next generation of life. This seamless collaboration between scavengers and decomposers ensures the savanna's resources are perpetually renewed, with no organic matter left unused. Nutrient-rich soil fosters the rapid growth of grasses, which quickly reclaim the space once occupied by the fallen. Grazers, such as zebras and wildebeest, benefit directly, consuming the lush vegetation and perpetuating the cycle. Sun-bleached bones, stripped of all organic material, remain as calcium-rich deposits, slowly weathering into the earth. Gap 2s. In this ecosystem, death is not a conclusion, but a transformation, an essential step in the continuity of life. From decay, new life emerges, each generation nourished by the legacy of those before. The intricate, unseen labor of scavengers and decomposers is the engine that sustains the savanna's remarkable productivity. Every loss is woven seamlessly into a tapestry of abundance, supporting a thriving, interconnected community. It is in the tireless, specialized work of these often overlooked organisms that the circle of life achieves its most profound and enduring balance. As the sun crests the horizon, its golden rays spill across the vast expanse of the African savanna, signaling the start of another cycle in this ancient landscape. Here, the savanna is not merely a stage for predators and prey, but a living tapestry woven by the intricate interplay of climate and time. The rhythm of the seasons, marked by shifting winds, migrating clouds, and the subtle tilt of the earth, dictates every aspect of life. During the dry season, the landscape is transformed. The once verdant grasslands fade to ochre, and the earth fractures under the relentless sun, creating a patchwork of parched soil and stubborn vegetation. Wildlife must adapt swiftly. Herbivores traverse greater distances in search of sustenance, while predators refine their strategies to exploit the vulnerabilities brought by scarcity. The air grows heavy with dust, and the vegetation thins, exposing the skeletal framework of the land. Cracks spiderweb across the ground, each fissure a testament to the intensity of the sun and the absence of rain. Water becomes the most precious resource. Shrinking waterholes draw a mosaic of species together, forging uneasy truces as thirst overrides rivalry. Elephants, with their remarkable memory and strength, excavate dry riverbeds, unearthing hidden reserves of moisture that sustain not only themselves but countless other creatures. Wildebeest and zebra form vast moving columns, their hooves stirring up clouds of dust as they journey toward distant, greener horizons. Dust storms sweep across the plains, stripping away the last remnants of grass and leaving the land raw and exposed. Predators, driven by hunger, become more audacious. Their hunts are shaped by the open terrain and the weakened state of their quarry, demanding both patience and precision. Scavengers, ever watchful, trail the herds and predators alike, capitalizing on every opportunity in this season of hardship. Eventually, the atmosphere shifts, humidity rises, and the sky darkens with the promise of relief. The first raindrops strike the hardened earth, releasing a scent of petrichor and signaling the rebirth of the savanna. Torrential rains sweep across the plains, flooding depressions and transforming the landscape into a patchwork of shimmering pools and vibrant green. Seeds, long dormant beneath the surface, respond instantly, sprouting into a lush carpet that blankets the savanna almost overnight. Rivers, once reduced to trickles, now surge with life, carving new channels and replenishing wetlands that had all but vanished. The transformation is immediate and dramatic. Herds return, drawn by the abundance of fresh grazing and the promise of water. The Great Migration resumes, with hundreds of thousands of wildebeest, zebra, and antelope traversing the rejuvenated plains in search of the richest pastures. The air is alive with the calls of returning birds, storks, weavers, and bee-eaters, each species timing its arrival to coincide with the bounty of the wet season. Their plumage, now at its brightest, stands out against the freshly washed sky, signaling the start of courtship and nesting. Insects emerge in astonishing numbers. Termites construct towering mounds, their activity aerating the soil and recycling nutrients essential for plant growth. Butterflies and bees flit between a sudden profusion of wildflowers, pollinating plants and supporting a web of life that flourishes in the wake of the rains. Amphibians, awakened by the moisture, emerge from their subterranean refuges to breed in temporary pools, their presence a fleeting but vital part of the ecosystem. As dusk falls, the savanna resonates with the chorus of frogs and insects, a symphony that marks the peak of the wet season's vitality. Yet, even in this time of plenty, the balance remains delicate. Competition for resources intensifies as populations swell. Many species synchronize their births with the rains, ensuring that their young are born into a world brimming with food and shelter. Calves and foals take their first steps on soft green grass, their survival closely tied to the abundance of the season. As the grass is grazed down, some herbivores shift their diets to browse on shrubs and trees, demonstrating remarkable dietary flexibility. From the towering giraffe plucking leaves high above to the industrious dung beetle recycling nutrients below, every organism plays a role in maintaining the ecosystem's health. Each species is finely attuned to the subtlest shifts in weather and resource availability, adjusting behaviors and movements in response to the ever-changing environment. As the wet season wanes, waterholes recede and the grass begins to yellow, signaling the slow return of drought. The savanna endures these extremes, its resilience forged by countless generations of adaptation to the cycles of scarcity and abundance. Through every shift, the ecosystem recalibrates, predators, prey, and plants alike finding new strategies to survive. The result is a dynamic, ever-evolving mosaic where each species occupies a niche shaped by the relentless pulse of the seasons. The passage of time is etched into the land itself, each season leaving its mark, each transition a testament to the savanna's enduring vitality. Here, the seasons are not mere intervals, but the very heartbeat of the savanna, driving migration, growth, and the perpetual dance of survival that defines this extraordinary wilderness. Across the immense expanse of the African savanna, a select group of organisms exerts a profound influence on the ecosystem's structure and function. These are the Keystone species, organisms whose ecological roles are so pivotal that their presence or absence determines the fate of countless others. The African elephant is a prime example. As it traverses the grasslands, every movement is an act of ecological engineering. Elephants systematically break branches and topple trees, thinning dense woodlands and allowing sunlight to penetrate the understory. These clearings foster the growth of grasses and herbs, creating vital grazing grounds and corridors for a multitude of smaller species. During periods of drought, elephants excavate dry riverbeds with their tusks, exposing underground water sources. These waterholes become essential for antelopes, warthogs, and predators, sustaining life through the harshest seasons. The physical changes elephants impose on the landscape, trails, clearings, and waterholes, reshape habitats and influence the distribution of countless organisms. Below the surface, termites play an equally critical role. These insects are master decomposers, breaking down tough plant material and recycling nutrients back into the soil. Their mounds, constructed from soil and organic matter, rise above the plains, aerating the earth and enhancing its fertility. These structures offer microhabitats, providing shelter and nesting sites for birds, reptiles, and small mammals, especially during extreme temperatures. When rains arrive, termite mounds channel water deep into the ground, promoting root growth and supporting a mosaic of plant species. The acacia tree, another keystone, stands as a vital resource in the open savanna, offering both shade and sustenance. Its leaves and pods are a primary food source for giraffes, antelopes, and a variety of insects, while its branches protect nesting birds from predators. The acacia's partnership with ants is a sophisticated mutualism. Ants defend the tree from herbivores, and in return the tree supplies nectar and shelter. The ecological impact of these keystone species extends far beyond their immediate surroundings, influencing the abundance and diversity of life across the savanna. In the absence of elephants, woodlands expand unchecked, reducing grassland habitats and disrupting the migratory patterns of grazers and the hunting grounds of predators. Without termites, soil structure collapses, nutrients are lost, and plant communities decline, undermining the entire food web. Elephants, termites, and acacia trees are the ecological engineers of the savanna, each shaping the environment in unique and indispensable ways. Through their actions, these keystone species maintain the delicate equilibrium of the savanna, ensuring the continuity of life and the resilience of this extraordinary ecosystem. As dusk settles over the African savanna, the landscape transforms beneath a veil of indigo and silver. The last rays of sunlight yield to the cool, ethereal glow of the moon, casting elongated shadows across the grasslands. The temperature drops, but the savanna pulses with renewed activity. Nocturnal life emerges, each species finely tuned to the demands of darkness. In this hidden world, vision sharpens, hearing intensifies, and every movement is dictated by instinct and necessity. The African leopard, a master of stealth, glides through tall grasses. Its rosette-patterned coat blends seamlessly with the shifting shadows, rendering it nearly invisible to both prey and rival. Every sinew is taut, every step measured. The leopard's acute night vision and silent footfalls make it a formidable nocturnal hunter. With pupils wide to capture the faintest light, it stalks impala grazing under the stars. The impala, ever wary, rely on their keen senses to detect the faintest disturbance. In a burst of controlled power, the leopard launches its attack, swift, silent, and precise. The hunt concludes in seconds, the savanna momentarily still. Elsewhere, a pride of lions awakens, their bodies stirring in the cool night air. The darkness is their element, offering cover and relief from the day's heat. Moving as a coordinated unit, the pride navigates the open plains, their senses heightened for the hunt ahead. Lionesses communicate with low, rumbling growls, synchronizing their approach. Their target, a herd of buffalo, unaware of the silent threat advancing through the darkness. The chase erupts with explosive speed. In the cover of night, the outcome is determined in a flurry of motion and instinct. Victorious, the pride's roars reverberate across the plains, a declaration of dominance in the nocturnal hierarchy. Yet the savanna's night is not solely the domain of predators. Herbivores adapt with equal vigilance. Wildebeest and zebra gather in dense formations, their numbers providing safety. Each individual is alert, relying on collective awareness to detect danger. Ears swivel, nostrils test the breeze, and eyes scan the darkness for the slightest sign of movement. Rest comes in brief intervals, interrupted by the need for constant vigilance. Survival demands a delicate balance between recuperation and readiness. Beneath the feet of giants, smaller creatures emerge. Each has carved a niche in the nocturnal ecosystem. The aardvark, solitary and methodical, leaves its burrow to forage. Its sensitive snout detects termites now active above ground, and powerful claws excavate their mounds with precision. Genets and civets, elusive and agile, navigate dense thickets. Their diet is varied, beetles, eggs, and ripe fruit, each meal a testament to adaptability. The night air vibrates with sound, the rhythmic chorus of crickets, the haunting calls of nightjars, and the distant whoops of hyenas traversing the darkness. Overhead, an owl glides silently, its acute hearing pinpointing rodents hidden in the grass. Its flight is a marvel of aerodynamics, undetectable to its quarry until the final moment. Across the savanna, every species, predator and prey, insect and mammal, adapts to the rhythm of night. Each interaction is shaped by the interplay of moonlight, shadow, and survival. In this profound darkness, the rules of existence shift. Senses sharpen, strategies evolve, and the ancient contest for survival continues. The nocturnal savanna is a realm of constant adaptation, where every heartbeat, every breath is attuned to the subtle cues of the night. Here, life endures, shaped by the relentless demands of darkness and the promise of dawn. Beneath the shimmering expanse of sunlit grasses and the scattered silhouettes of acacia trees lies a world engineered by plants, masters of adaptation, whose survival strategies underpin the entire savanna ecosystem. Here, plants contend with frequent wildfires, prolonged droughts, and relentless grazing pressure, all while responding to the dramatic oscillation between wet and dry seasons. The camera glides low over endless fields of tall, swaying grasses, revealing their subtle complexity. Each blade is a product of evolutionary ingenuity. Narrow, vertical leaves reduce water loss by minimizing surface area exposed to the sun. Savanna grasses grow from basal meristems, not their tips, allowing rapid regrowth after grazing or fire. When herds or flames strip away their foliage, these grasses regenerate efficiently, their vital tissues protected below ground. Their growing points remain shielded beneath the soil, ensuring survival through repeated disturbances. Detailed shots reveal root systems that penetrate meters deep, maximizing access to scarce water reserves and nutrients. During drought, these roots exploit underground moisture, sustaining growth when surface water vanishes. Dense root networks bind the soil, preventing erosion and maintaining the integrity of riverbanks and plains. The acacia tree, a keystone of the savanna, stands as a model of botanical resilience. Its umbrella-shaped canopy intercepts intense sunlight, reducing ground temperature and water evaporation beneath. Small, compound leaves further minimize water loss, while their orientation tracks the sun to optimize photosynthesis. Acacia branches bristle with formidable thorns, physical deterrents that protect vital foliage from herbivores. Specialized ants inhabit hollow thorns, forming a living defense system. When the tree is threatened, these ants swarm out, aggressively repelling invaders and pruning competing vegetation. In return, the acacia provides nectar from specialized glands, sustaining the ant colony in a mutualistic alliance. This ancient partnership exemplifies the intricate interdependence between flora and fauna in the savanna. Time-lapse footage reveals the seasonal choreography of plant life. In the dry season, many trees shed leaves to reduce transpiration, conserving water until the rains return. With the first rainfall, dormant seeds, some lying in wait for years, germinate rapidly, exploiting brief windows of abundance. The landscape transforms into a vibrant carpet of green, supporting a surge in primary productivity. Certain seeds possess fire-resistant coatings, requiring the intense heat of wildfire to trigger germination. This adaptation ensures that new growth emerges in nutrient-rich, competition-free soil after fire. The cycle of destruction and renewal is orchestrated by plant life, driving ecosystem recovery and succession. The timing and abundance of plant growth dictate the migratory patterns of herbivores, linking plant phenology to animal survival. Even in apparent stillness, savanna plants are dynamic agents of change. Sensitive to environmental cues, some grasses emit volatile organic compounds when grazed, signaling neighboring plants to increase chemical defenses, such as tannins or silica, deterring further feeding. Underground, roots form vast networks, sometimes connecting different species, facilitating resource sharing and communication. Mycorrhizal fungi colonize these roots, extending their reach and enabling the exchange of water, minerals, and biochemical signals. In the savanna's ongoing narrative, survival is achieved through patience, resourcefulness, and a suite of finely tuned adaptations. From drought-resistant bark to deep-rooted persistence, each plant is a testament to resilience. Together, these plants form the living foundation of the savanna, sustaining biodiversity and shaping the landscape. Their roots stabilize the earth, their canopies shelter countless organisms, and their cycles drive the pulse of the ecosystem. Season by season, the savanna's resilience is written in the strategies of its plants, quiet, enduring, and essential. In the sun-drenched tapestry of the savanna, a world unfolds at a miniature scale, one defined by the silent diplomacy and constant negotiation between insects and plants. Close-up footage reveals a mosaic of life beetles glinting on acacia stems, butterflies drifting over wildflowers, and armies of termites constructing towering mounds from the earth itself. For millions of years, plants and insects have shaped each other's destinies in a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and mutual benefit. The camera lingers on a cluster of delicate blossoms, where solitary bees gather pollen, their bodies dusted in golden grains. Each visit transfers vital genetic material, enabling the next generation of grasses, shrubs, and flowering herbs. Some flowers have evolved shapes and scents bespoke to their pollinators, tubular corollas for long-tongued moths, ultraviolet markings invisible to the human eye, but a beacon to bees. Elsewhere, the lens focuses on a parade of leafcutter ants, methodically harvesting slivers of greenery. These fragments are not for immediate consumption, but for cultivating symbiotic fungi deep within their subterranean colonies. This underground farming sustains entire ant societies, while the selective pruning by ants encourages new plant growth above. Hovering near the thorny branches of an acacia, sap-sucking aphids cluster in dense colonies, drawing nourishment from the tree's phloem. In response, the acacia releases chemical alarms, summoning its resident ant defenders. The ants, in turn, herd and protect the aphids, harvesting their sweet honeydew, a living currency in the savanna's bustling economy. The camera's gaze shifts to grasshoppers and locusts, whose powerful mandibles shear through blades of grass. During population booms, their feeding shapes the landscape itself, influencing which plant species thrive or decline. Yet even as they consume, they become prey, integral links in the food web, transferring the energy of the sun, captured by plants, to higher trophic levels. Night falls, and the savanna hums with activity. Moths pollinate night-blooming flowers, while stealthy assassin bugs stalk unwary caterpillars. In this shadowed realm, each insect's fate is intertwined with the plants that shelter, feed, and sometimes defend against them. Underground, termites break down tough plant fibers, recycling dead wood and grass into fertile soil. Their mounds aerate and enrich the earth, allowing roots to penetrate deeper and water to flow more freely. These tiny engineers ensure the savanna's enduring fertility, their lives inseparable from the plants that both feed and depend upon them. From intricate pollination rituals to fierce territorial battles and silent nutrient exchanges, the alliances and contests between insects and plants shape the very fabric of the savanna. In their myriad interactions, they sustain the cycles of life, delicate, resilient, and endlessly evolving. The savanna's grandeur is built not only on the strength of lions or the endurance of elephants, but on the tireless work of its smallest inhabitants and the plants they serve. Here, survival is a dance of adaptation and co-creation, an unceasing dialogue at the heart of the African wild. Above the vast plains, the sky is never idle. Clouds gather in silent convocation. Winds sweep across the grasslands, and distant thunderheads cast fleeting shadows on the earth below. In the savanna, weather is more than backdrop. Its patterns are the architects of possibility and the arbiters of survival. Time-lapse footage captures the dance of sunlight and shadow as the day unfolds. The early morning is cool, dew glistening on blades of grass, nourishing plants and offering a fleeting drink to small creatures before the sun's ascent. As temperatures rise, the savanna transforms. Heat shimmers above the ground, drawing moisture from soil and leaf alike. Here, the rhythm of evaporation and condensation governs the tempo of life. The camera sweeps to a patchwork of microclimates, low-lying depressions where mist lingers, rocky outcrops that radiate warmth, and shaded groves beneath acacia canopies. Each microhabitat offers sanctuary or challenge. Frogs and insects cluster in damp hollows, escaping the midday furnace. Birds nest in cooler branches, where breezes temper the heat. Even the soil itself tells a story. Sandy patches heat and cool quickly, while clay retains moisture, dictating what can grow and where. Storm season arrives in a spectacle of sound and fury. Lightning forks across the sky, igniting the horizon. Torrential rains awaken dormant seeds, coaxing a flush of green from the parched earth. Animals move with the rains, herds trailing fresh growth, predators shadowing their prey. In these brief windows of abundance, life surges forward, every organism racing to seize the moment. Yet the rains are never uniform. Some regions remain dry, their grasses brittle and gold, while only a few kilometers away, lush greenery thrives. This mosaic of wet and dry, sun and shade creates a landscape of infinite niches. Termite mounds, rising like ancient monuments, influence water flow and soil chemistry, creating their own microclimates, oases of fertility in the sea of grass. As the dry season returns, the savanna contracts, waterholes shrink, dust veils the horizon, and survival hinges on adaptation. Plants deploy deep roots or waxy leaves to endure. Animals seek shade, burrow, or migrate, each responding to the invisible hand of weather. Throughout it all, the interplay of wind, rain, sun, and shadow shapes every life and every moment. Microclimates offer refuge or challenge, driving evolution and diversity. In the savanna, the weather is both sculptor and stage, a force as mighty as any predator, as nurturing as any sheltering tree. Here, in the ever-changing theatre of climate, the drama of survival is written anew each day. By the unseen currents of air, the fleeting gift of rain, and the subtle gradients of light and heat that define the African wild. Beneath the golden grasses and sun-baked stones, another caste of survivors moves in silence. Reptiles and amphibians, the often unseen denizens of the savanna. Their strategies for survival are as varied as the landscapes they inhabit, each adaptation a testament to ancient resilience. A slender sand snake glides effortlessly across the heated soil, its scales reflecting the sun's rays to avoid overheating. With a flick of its tongue, it reads the air, seeking prey and evading predators. The savanna's reptiles are masters of thermoregulation, basking in the morning light to raise their body temperatures, then retreating into cool burrows or the shade of termite mounds as midday heat intensifies. A camera pans to a rock agama, perched atop a granite outcrop. Its vibrant colors signal both territory and readiness to mate. These lizards are built for bursts of speed, their limbs and tails propelling them across rugged terrain. When danger looms, they vanish into crevices, escaping the notice of raptors circling above. In the low-lying wetlands, life takes on a different rhythm. Here, the African bullfrog lies dormant beneath the mud, encased in a self-made cocoon to survive the long, desiccating dry season. When the rains finally arrive, the ground trembles with the chorus of emerging frogs, each voice vying for mates and territory. Their brief, explosive breeding is synchronized with the ephemeral pools, ensuring that eggs and tadpoles develop before the water vanishes once more. Chameleons, with their swiveling eyes and prehensile tails, survey the acacia branches. Their skin shifts color, not just for camouflage, but as a barometer of temperature and mood. Slow-moving and deliberate, they are ambush predators, their sticky tongues striking with unerring precision. Tortoises lumber across the savanna, armored against both predators and the elements. Their domed shells act as mobile shelters, conserving moisture and shielding them from the sun's relentless glare. In times of scarcity, they rely on stored reserves, a strategy honed over millennia. Even as the landscape shifts from wet to dry, these cold-blooded inhabitants persist. Some, like the spiny-tailed lizard, excavate elaborate burrows, creating insulated refuges against scorching heat and nocturnal chill. Others, such as the reed frog, secrete waxy coatings to prevent dehydration, clinging to life in the smallest patches of moisture. In this realm of extremes, reptiles and amphibians exemplify adaptation. Their lives are woven into the fabric of the savanna, from the cryptic movements beneath leaf litter to the vibrant displays atop sunlit rocks. Through drought and deluge, heat and cold, they endure, silent architects of survival, shaping and shaped by the ever-changing world around them. Across the endless horizon, a distant shimmer dances above the grassland. Suddenly, tongues of flame erupt, sweeping through the dry savanna with relentless speed. This is no random disaster. It is a force of nature, woven into the very fabric of the ecosystem. Fire, both feared and revered, is a vital architect of the savanna's landscape. As the blaze advances, grasses crackle and shrubs ignite, their volatile oils fueling the inferno. Herds of antelope and zebra move with practiced haste, guided by instinct to safer ground. Burrowing animals retreat deep into the earth, shielded by layers of cool soil. Birds take to the sky, their sharp eyes scanning for untouched refuges. Yet even as the flames consume, they also create. Fire clears away dead vegetation, releasing nutrients locked within the ash. In the aftermath, the soil is enriched, a dark canvas ready for new life. Within days, green shoots pierce the blackened earth. Dormant seeds, awakened by heat and smoke, germinate in synchrony, their growth accelerated by the sudden abundance of light and minerals. The cycle of burning and rebirth is ancient and essential. Fire maintains the delicate balance between grassland and woodland, preventing encroachment by dense thickets and trees. Without periodic burns, the savanna would slowly transform, losing the open expanses that support its iconic wildlife. Specialized plants have evolved to thrive in this fiery regime. Some grasses possess underground storage organs, allowing rapid regrowth after fire passes. Certain acacias produce seeds with tough coats, cracked open only by intense heat, ensuring their survival in a landscape shaped by flames. Scavengers and decomposers follow the fire, drawn by the remains left behind. Beetles, fungi, and termites break down charred material, recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. In time, grazers return, feasting on the tender new growth. Predators soon follow, and the savanna's web of life is restored. In this perpetual cycle of destruction and renewal, fire is not an enemy, but a catalyst. It sculpts the landscape, fosters biodiversity, and sustains the rhythms of life. Through the seasons, the savanna endures, reborn in the ashes, ever resilient, ever wild. Beneath the sweeping grasslands and scattered acacias, an invisible network pulses with energy, a web of life more intricate than any tapestry. Here, every organism, from the mightiest elephant to the tiniest soil microbe, is bound together by the relentless flow of energy and the transfer of nutrients. The journey begins with the sun, its radiant energy captured by the savanna's verdant plants. Grasses and shrubs, through the miracle of photosynthesis, convert sunlight into chemical energy, forming the foundation of the food web. These primary producers store energy in their leaves, stems, and roots, offering sustenance to a multitude of herbivores. Zebras, wildebeests, and gazelles graze in synchronized waves, their movements orchestrated by the availability of fresh growth. Each bite transfers energy upwards, fueling muscle and motion. Not all herbivores eat the same. Giraffes reach for the tender acacia leaves, while rodents nibble on seeds and roots hidden below. Predators stalk the herds, their sharp senses attuned to weakness and opportunity. Lions, cheetahs, and wild dogs convert the energy of their prey into bursts of speed and strength. Scavengers like hyenas and vultures consume what remains, ensuring that no morsel is wasted. Yet the web extends further still. Insects, often unseen, feed on plants, dung, and decaying matter, while spiders and small mammals prey upon them. Below ground, earthworms and termites break down organic debris, releasing nutrients and closing vital energy loops. Decomposers, fungi and bacteria, complete the cycle. They dismantle the toughest plant fibers and animal remains, returning nutrients to the soil and enabling the next wave of plant growth. In this dynamic network, energy flows from sun to grass, from grazer to predator, from carcass to soil, endlessly cycling, sustaining all life. Disrupt one thread, and the balance shifts. A decline in grazers ripples upward to the predators and downward to the plants. The stability of the savanna depends on the resilience of these connections, maintained by countless interactions every day. In this realm, survival is not a solitary pursuit, but a shared endeavor, woven from countless exchanges of energy. The savanna's food web is a masterpiece of complexity, resilient, dynamic, and ever-evolving. It is the silent engine that powers this wild domain. Across the vast expanse of the savanna, water is the most precious resource, a force as vital as sunlight and as fleeting as a summer storm. Rivers, seasonal streams, and scattered waterholes act as the lifeblood of this ecosystem, shaping the destinies of every creature that calls the savanna home. In the wet season, rainfall transforms the landscape. Grasses surge skyward, pools brim with fresh water, and life flourishes. Herds of wildebeest, zebra, and antelope converge on swollen rivers, their migrations guided by the promise of hydration and new grazing grounds. Elephants, the architects of water access, dig into dry riverbeds with their tusks, unearthing hidden reserves that sustain not just themselves, but countless smaller animals drawn to the moisture. But abundance is fleeting. As the dry season tightens its grip, water sources shrink and vanish. The sun scorches the earth, and dust clouds rise where lush meadows once stood. Now, survival hinges on adaptation. Some animals, like the oryx and the gerenuk, extract moisture from the plants they eat. Their bodies evolve to minimize water loss. Nocturnal habits become a shield against the day's heat. Creatures rest in burrows or under sparse shade, emerging only when the air cools. Birds, too, reveal remarkable strategies. Sandgrouse fly vast distances to reach the last remaining pools, soaking their belly feathers to carry water back to thirsty chicks. Crocodiles and hippos retreat to the mud, slowing their metabolisms and conserving precious fluids until the rains return. Predators lurk near dwindling waterholes, where prey must eventually gather. Here, competition intensifies, and the risks of predation rise. Yet, even in scarcity, the savanna's web of life endures. Some seeds remain dormant in the parched soil, awaiting the first droplets of rain to burst into life. Termites and ants descend deeper underground, tapping into residual moisture and storing food to outlast the drought. The savanna's survival is a testament to resilience and ingenuity. Water, though rare, is shared, fought for, and ingeniously conserved. Every organism is shaped by the rhythms of flood and famine, their strategies honed by generations of adaptation. As the first thunderclouds gather on the horizon, hope is rekindled. The cycle will begin anew, and the savanna will once again awaken, sustained by the lifeblood that is water. In the endless theatre of the savanna, an unspoken contest unfolds, a relentless arms race between predator and prey, sculpted by millennia of adaptation and survival. Here, every movement, every instinct is the product of evolutionary ingenuity, honed in the crucible of life and death. On the open plains, a cheetah crouches low, her slender form a masterpiece of speed. Powerful muscles coil beneath her spotted pelt, ready to unleash a burst of acceleration unmatched in the animal kingdom. But her quarry, the impala, is no passive target. Over generations, impalas have developed a split-second startle reflex, Their legs, long and sinewy, allow for sudden, zigzagging sprints, confusing even the swiftest pursuer. Only the most cunning or the luckiest predator will claim a meal. Elsewhere, a pride of lions stalks a herd of buffalo. The buffalo, imposing and vigilant, have evolved formidable horns and a social strategy of mutual defense. When threatened, they form protective circles, calves at the center, adults facing outward, horns ready to repel any attack. The lions, in turn, rely on teamwork and patience, exploiting moments of weakness or isolation. Each encounter sharpens the instincts of both hunter and hunted, driving subtle changes in behavior and physique across generations. Even the stealthy leopard, master of camouflage, faces the watchful gaze of baboons and antelope. Prey species have developed acute senses, ears that twitch at the faintest rustle, eyes positioned wide for panoramic vigilance, and alarm calls that ripple through the grasslands, warning all within earshot. In response, predators refine their tactics, silent stalking, coordinated ambushes, and the patience to wait for the perfect moment. This evolutionary duel is not merely about strength or speed, but about anticipation, outthinking the opponent, adapting to each new challenge. Defensive adaptations, such as cryptic coloration, mimicry, and explosive escape behaviors, meet offensive innovations like sharper claws, keener senses, and sophisticated hunting strategies. The arms race extends to the smallest creatures as well. The dung beetle, a prize for birds and lizards, has developed swift burrowing techniques and armored exoskeletons. Insects evolve bitter chemicals or warning colors, while their predators learn to recognize, avoid, or even tolerate these defenses. Through each generation, the savanna's inhabitants are shaped and reshaped by this dynamic contest. No victory is permanent, no adaptation absolute. The balance is ever shifting, an intricate dance of survival, where success for one means challenge for another. In this crucible, the savanna's diversity is forged. Predator and prey, bound together by necessity, drive the relentless march of evolution, ensuring that every life, every encounter, is part of a story millions of years in the making. Across the vast tapestry of the savanna, a remarkable phenomenon unfolds each year, a living tide that surges across grasslands and rivers, transforming the land and its inhabitants. This is the epic migration of the great wanderers wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles, moving in synchronized waves that can number in the millions. Driven by the eternal search for fresh grazing and life-sustaining water, these herds traverse hundreds of kilometers, their hooves carving ancient trails into the earth. With every crossing, they sculpt the landscape, trampling old growth, fertilizing the soil, and clearing space for new plant life to emerge in their wake. The pulse of migration breathes renewal into the savanna, ensuring that no patch of grassland remains untouched by the cycle of life. For predators, the migration is a time of abundance. Lions, hyenas, and crocodiles lie in wait, their fortunes rising and falling with the passage of the herds. Yet, the impact of migration reaches far beyond the hunter and the hunted. Birds of prey follow the herds, feeding on the insects stirred up by the moving masses. Vultures and scavengers thrive on the inevitable casualties, recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. Even the plants respond to this annual movement. Seeds are trampled into the soil and carried to distant regions in the fur of migrating animals, spreading genetic diversity across the plains. Waterholes, once stagnant, are churned and refreshed by thousands of bodies, creating habitats for fish, amphibians, and aquatic insects. As the seasons turn, the herds move on, leaving behind a transformed landscape. Their absence is felt in the quiet that follows. Predators disperse, grasses regrow, and the savanna gathers strength for the next great journey. In this way, the migratory species serve as both architects and caretakers, their movements weaving together the fates of countless creatures in a web of interdependence. The Great Migration is not merely a spectacle of numbers. It is a force of nature that sustains the savanna's vitality. Through their relentless journey, these animals shape the land, nourish its inhabitants, and ensure that the circle of life continues unbroken across the endless horizon. Beneath the golden grasses and trampling herds, an invisible world pulses with life, one that is no less vital than the thunder of hooves or the hunt of predators. Here, in the dark and humid soil of the savanna, legions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and archaea, form the foundation of the ecosystem's health. Each handful of Earth teems with billions of these microscopic architects, silently orchestrating the cycles that sustain all life above. Bacteria break down organic matter, fallen leaves, animal droppings, and decaying roots, releasing essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium back into the soil. Fungi, with their sprawling networks of mycelium, weave a living net that binds soil particles and aids in the decomposition of tougher plant fibers. These mycorrhizal fungi forge symbiotic alliances with plant roots, extending their reach for water and minerals, and in return receiving vital sugars produced by photosynthesis. Protozoa and nematodes prowl the soil's labyrinth, feeding on bacteria and other microorganisms, keeping populations in balance and releasing nutrients in plant-available forms. Even archaea, ancient life forms, contribute by transforming nitrogen compounds, maintaining the delicate chemistry of the soil. This subterranean community acts as the savanna's silent engine, driving the breakdown of organic material and the recycling of nutrients. Without their ceaseless labor, the grasses would wither, the herds would dwindle, and the intricate balance of the savanna would collapse. Microorganisms also play a crucial role in soil structure. Their sticky secretions help clump soil particles, creating pores for air, water, and roots to penetrate. In times of drought, these microbe-formed aggregates retain precious moisture, offering resilience to the plants above. As the seasons shift and the great herds migrate, they leave behind a trail of organic matter that fuels this hidden world. The microorganisms respond in kind, transforming waste into fertility, ensuring that when the rains return, the savanna bursts once more into vibrant life. In the grand tapestry of the savanna, it is these unseen engineers who keep the cycle in perpetual motion. Their tireless work beneath our feet forms the silent heartbeat of the plains, connecting every living thing in a network more intricate than any web spun above the ground. As the sun blazes ever hotter over the African savanna, a new and formidable challenge emerges, one that threatens to unravel the intricate balance painstakingly woven over millennia. Climate change, once a distant rumble, now casts a long shadow across the grasslands, altering the rhythm of life in subtle and dramatic ways. The rains, once predictably seasonal, now arrive late or in sudden, violent bursts. Parched earth cracks underfoot where lush grasses once waved. When the deluge comes, it often runs off hardened soil, carrying away nutrients and leaving behind scars of erosion. Rivers shrink to mere ribbons in the dry season, isolating waterholes and forcing wildlife to travel farther, risking exhaustion and conflict at every turn. The mighty acacia and resilient baobab, icons of the savanna, face increasing stress. Some saplings wither before reaching maturity, unable to cope with prolonged droughts or unseasonal heat. Even the deep-rooted grasses, the lifeblood of the plains, struggle to recover after fires that now burn hotter and more frequently, fueled by drier conditions and altered vegetation. Within the animal kingdom, the pressure mounts. Grazers, from zebras to wildebeest, are forced to adapt their migrations, searching for greener pastures that are now fewer and farther between. Predators, too, feel the strain as their prey disperse or decline, leading to shifts in ancient hunting grounds and new contests for survival. Yet the savanna is no stranger to challenge. Its inhabitants, plant, animal, and microbe alike, have evolved remarkable strategies for resilience. Some grasses retreat into seeds, lying dormant until conditions improve. Elephants dig for hidden water, creating wells that benefit countless other species. Microorganisms adjust their activity, conserving energy and reviving with the return of moisture. But the pace and scale of change now test even these time-honed adaptations. The savanna stands at a crossroads, a living mosaic whose future depends on the delicate interplay of climate, species, and cycles. Will its resilience endure, or will these ancient lands reach a tipping point? Amidst uncertainty, life persists. New alliances form, and the relentless drive to survive sparks innovation across the web of life. The story of the savanna continues, one of challenge, adaptation, and the enduring hope that balance can be restored, even as the climate shifts beneath the endless sky.